Yeah, it's funny. This time of year, you get asked that question a lot, and to be quite frank, like you really don't know the chemistry and the makeup of a team, until you can get in that clubhouse and get out there and compete a little bit, and the lights are on, and they get pushed around and punched in the face. That's really a testament to who you are as a ball club and who you are as a team, and what types of players you have, and the dynamics of the roster. All those things come into play once the lights are on. So, there's guys that we're meeting for the first time today. There's guys that don't know each other. Guys just got traded here. You really aren't a team yet until I think you can put that uniform on together and go out and compete. Yeah, super talented player, right? I mean, I think these conversations are eerily similar to the ones we've had with, the Khalil Watsons of the world and Travis Bazanas and the Chase DeLauters and, the litany of players that have rolled through Canal Park or 717 Credit Union Ballpark, whatever we're called now. I think, again, super talented player. Any young player, you're looking to continue to develop solid routines. You're looking to continue to see how they face adversity and, and how they perform when they have been knocked down and when they have been pushed around a little bit. You're looking for a little bit more consistency out of maybe some new players that we have, or players like Angel that, hoping to make that next step and that big step for him, which I think ultimately comes down to consistency every single night. That's kind of what you saw with even Travis Bazana in a small sample size here. Wasn't here very long, nor was Chase, but where they were when they left versus where they were when they first got here, I think you saw some significant strides, and hopefully where they are 10 years from now are going to be markedly different than where they are, in 2026. I don't know what his hype is, to be quite frank. I just know what we think of him in the clubhouse. I didn't see as much from him last year as I heard it. I mean, everything that he was swinging at was, or everything rather that he made contact with, made some significant noise in Canal Park. So, fun player to watch. Again, very similar to the similar themes from before, like guys that are getting more consistent, guys that are starting to understand who they are as players. They're not trying to be somebody that they're not. They're not trying to fulfill the hype, so to speak. They're not trying to fulfill a projection. They know who they are. They know what they need to work on in order to be a professional player at an elite level every single night. It's tough. It's hard. And it only gets harder from here on out as they move to Columbus and they move to Progressive Field. So our job as a staff is to prepare them and push them and try to replicate what that fight might look like at 7 o'clock. I mean, again, hopefully that's not the hardest thing they do all day is the game. Hopefully, we use from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock as a barometer or the game is rather as a barometer for how hard they've worked and how much we've pushed them and how much they've challenged themselves and taken risks and taken chances between 1 and 5, so that at 7 o'clock, it's not the hardest thing they've done all day. Yeah, I think I enjoy it here. This is my summer home, really. I mean, there's other people that have summer homes all over the country, from Martha's Vineyard to Nantucket. I have mine in Akron, which is a little bit different, but there's nowhere I'd rather be than at Canal Park. It's been a great community, great family atmosphere. I love coming to work here every day. I say work, I use that term loosely because I'm really lucky to be in an organization like Cleveland and to be with a bunch of guys that care about each other and that recognize what it means to be a really good teammate. At the end of the day, I have family that come out here and significant others that come out here, and daughter comes out here, and it's become home for a lot of people, that I surround myself with, that I love and I care about, and so I'm ready to get slide down the back of the Brontosaurus like Freddie Flintstone and punch in. So we're ready to go. Yeah, I mean he's super confident and he's not afraid, and I think sometimes that can get in a player's way. That will not get in Mr. Rosario's way whatsoever. He is not afraid and he is not scared. Again, similar to some of the other players we've referenced, I think just getting more consistent and being able to put the bat to the ball in zone, and doing that with more frequency, I think is going to be a huge step for him. And, he's in great hands with Jordan Becker and Cole Nieto, Jordan's with me for his 3rd year. You know, one of the best hitting coaches I've ever been around. So I think he's in really good hands, and he's in a good spot putting him, you know, he'll be in that lineup fairly regularly, and you'll see some loud balls off his bat, similar to Ralphy's, some loud outs, some loud balls over the fence, and you know, our job, I guess, as a staff is to try to make that as frequent as possible. You know, building chemistry is it's up to the players, and it's up to the guys in the clubhouse, really. It's about providing them, my belief is that provide them opportunities. That's what I think I do really well. It's why I think I'm a manager here in Cleveland, that you know, I try to surround themselves with some tenets and values that I think are important, and I'm not afraid to push them really hard. I'm not afraid to tell them what I think they need to be better at. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable myself when I have swung and missed, you know, the proverbial pitch as well. And I think guys respect that. The guys know that nobody wants to go to fight with them more than I do, and I'm an extension of the roster. And I think it makes things a lot easier when, you know, I can be in that dugout, and I'm no more or less important than any player or any staff member that we have. So I think, you know, I think our guys really appreciate that. I think that's part, for me, of building a really good team and a really cohesive clubhouse, is that, you know, everybody cares about the person sitting to the right or left of them, and nobody feels as though they're more important than the one sitting right next to you. Yeah, similar to Rosario, right? We only had a quick, you know, a quick hit with him last year near the end of the season. You know, fluid delivery, throw strikes. I think his velo's made a little bit of a jump, which has been great. Again, just trying to get consistency out of him and being healthy. And I think this will be hopefully a fun year for him. He was trying to learn a lot in a short amount of time, not just from where he was at and where he was playing and what his role was, but his teammates' names, his coaching staff, and developing that trust. I think that's a big piece of any player. You see their development continue to skyrocket. The closer relationships they have with, you know, the teammates around them, as we talked about before, and coupled with the staff members that they're with every single day, the more that trust can be solidified, the more comfortable they are, and, you know, the more that you see them making those big time strides, those big jumps. So I'm hoping to see a really big jump. Didn't have a chance to see him a lot in spring training. You know, it's funny, we talked about that earlier about the team and, you know, the makeup and the chemistry of the team. You have so many moving parts in spring training and so many different games. And, you know, we're in the East Valley, guys are playing in the West Valley. Khal Stevens pitching on field 3 and I'm on field 1. And you really don't get to feel what that is like until you have your first team meeting, which we did about an hour ago. So I'm excited. It really gets your juices flowing, and you know, excited for tomorrow night.
Man, I'm excited. It's been you know, long spring training, just ready to get the season going, and excited to be out there in front of the fans and give them something to look forward to. Yeah, I think definitely there's a lot of comfort with like being around the guys and growing with the guys and after practice, that kind of thing. So for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. We got some new guys here. You know, they've made it up and have made it over. So just interested to see how the team kind of flows and get it going this week. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Definitely like traveling out here is like, you kind of like think about like, man, the last time I was in a plane, what was I doing, that kind of thing. So just, you know, coming back somewhere is also a first for me. So just nice to, you know, have a little comfort with where I'm at and, you know, knowing the town a little bit. So just really excited to get back on the field. So definitely this is closest to home. So it's really nice to, you know, the way it kind of just fell in our laps, you know, being here. But so excited. My family's, you know, likely going to make a lot of games. So it's really nice. Yeah, I think like a lot of it is just like time and experience. Like you got to be around people to build those relationships, and, you know, you kind of pour into them and they pour back into it. So the staff we have here is really, really good. And I'm very happy to have built these relationships through spring training, you know, tagging on to the end of last season, and just feeling really comfortable with the development process and where I'm planning to be. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just like eating a good meal, getting some good sleep, and like not worrying about too much the night before or even, you know, in the morning when you wake up. So for me, it's just kind of try and keep my mind off of it until it's time to go 3-4 hours before the game. Yeah, it's a funny spot because like obviously it means so much to you being with them and that kind of thing. So like I won't say I wasn't rooting for them, because I was, but just something cool to feel like you were part of that. And so, hopefully we can get that going on our side over here. Yeah, I think just they're two cool dudes outside of baseball. So just enjoying the time we spend together in the locker room, on the field, and the dugout. So I think easy to talk with. It's been really fluid so far. Yeah, I think for me the biggest thing was just continuing to develop more routines and that kind of thing, and basically just putting myself to be in a position to be healthy all year long, make all the starts I need to make all year long, and really just hit the ground running. So basically the biggest thing was just scheduling out my off season and making sure my body, my arm is ready for a full long season. Yeah, I mean definitely it's something you have to be aware of and intentional about, and so I think just giving yourself a little bit more time, stretching, prepping, that kind of thing. Just being outside a little bit earlier, getting acclimated. Don't be, stuck inside and then get shocked, 40 minutes before the game or something like that. So, like you said, it's natural and it's not, because we've been in Arizona for 3 months. So, definitely something to be aware of tomorrow. Yeah, I mean we're absolutely excited to kind of get that atmosphere feel, a little buzz in the crowd is definitely something that it can play into the game a lot. So we're just excited to kind of have that feeling again.
I'm excited. It's a good group. We have a good locker room, and it's been a minute since we've got to play some baseball, so I'm ready to start playing for sure. Extra motivation for sure. I've always been blessed to play up in different age groups, so I'm ready for it and excited for sure. Yeah, it's been fun. First big league camp this year. It was awesome being around those guys. It's a good group in that locker room, and it's something to look forward to for sure. They're all really cool guys. They all took me under their wing, showed me some ropes, and just excited to get up there for sure. It's a dream come true. I'm from California. I've been going to spring training games since I can remember, 5, 6 years old, for travel ball tournaments, and being on the field with those guys and having a major league manager in your dugout. It's pretty surreal. So I had a blast. It was such a good time, and again, it's something to look forward to. It's a great squad. Oh, they're awesome. They're awesome. In the beginning, when I first got drafted, they thought I spoke Spanish because of my last name, which my dad speaks fluent. So every time my dad comes down, he talks to them. I've got better at speaking with them. Their English has got way better too. But they're all cool guys. It's a great infield, Khal, great baseball player. Excited to be on the field with them for sure. Yeah, for sure. I always say it. I always give props to the organization. They do a great job. It's you could go out and spend money for players and not have the best locker room. But if you're going up with these players at a young age and you're around them more than you're around your families, that connection just builds stronger. And it's hard to beat a team that every single player on that field is tight like brothers. It's very hard to beat them. Yeah, definitely get a bunch of sleep. I'm a sleeper. Play the show. I just got my real 99, so I'm definitely going to be grinding a little bit. But no, just hang out, watch a TV show, go to bed around 10 and get some sleep for sure. I had it last year in Lake County, and I said that it was a very good McDonald's. I'm not a McDonald's fan, but you see Swenson's and it looked like McDonald's. It was really good. I'd definitely go back for sure. I'm excited. Again, we're fortunate to be with each other in October and November camps out in Arizona, so we're all close already. So being able to play in this weather and this year, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. In-N-Out. In-N-Out. Swenson's is good, but In-N-Out is top tier for me.
He's a California.
Yes, and I know people from Texas are like Whataburger is like everything. I've had Whataburger. Not a fan. Yeah, In-N-Out. So good. It was sweet. Again, very fortunate. I've got to meet all these players and hang out with them in November and October camps. And coming up here, it just feels just welcoming because you've been around them a lot. And no, they welcome you with open arms. We had a great time, and I definitely had a great experience in AA for the 5 weeks I had up here. It was super fun for sure. I never got to play with Milan Tolentino, so that was a good player to watch. He's a baller, man. He could play. Great person, a great family, and I'm excited to play with them if we ever get the chance to on a same team for sure. I have a super supportive group around me to keep me in tunnel vision, and I'm just excited to play, man. Excited to play. Whatever happens this year happens, but I'm just going to go out there and play some baseball. Going out there and just being confident, knowing I belong. Again, since I was little, I've always played up in age groups, and my dad has pushed it on me that you have to have the mentality that you're the best person on that field, but be humble and don't show it. Just keep it in your own head. And that's the mentality I always go with. And yeah, it played out well. It was a fun spring. Seen the ball well. Good, comfortable, for sure. Again, at a young age, I always got thrown out in different positions, so very fortunate. But I love all positions, for sure. I'm excited to get some reps at first in the outfield this year.